Welcome to the New World Order Showcase Podcast. Your host, Jill Hart, the coach's Alchemist. Couldn't be more excited to have you join us today. On this podcast, we celebrate the champions of change, the up-and-coming life, health and transformational coaches who are fearlessly stepping forward to make a difference in the world. Get ready for inspiring stories, practical tips, and powerful moments that will motivate you to make a positive change in your life and those around you. We're happy to have you join us on this incredible journey as we dive into the world of life, health, and transformational coaches who are lighting up the path towards a better tomorrow.
Hi, and welcome to the New World Order Showcase podcast. Today we have with us Tom Paladino. Tom's a Christian husband, researcher, and humanitarian seeking to bring scalar light healing to the world. He believes scalar light energy will improve the quantum health of humanity. Welcome to the show, Tom. I am so excited to learn all about this amazing technology.
It is amazing technology. Thanks for the invite.
Yeah, so great to have you here. I don't even know where to start. Well, let's start with you. Where did you start? How did this come into your, were you born with it?
Yes, I was born with an inquisitive spirit. Yes, I've always liked discovery. I always like a challenge. This has been quite a challenge. It's a lifelong challenge. It's been a challenge for the past 50 years. I'm speaking about scalar energy, scalar research. That's what I'm working with. I'm in my laboratory because I want to demonstrate my scalar light instruments. So it's my passion. This is my calling.
So tell us a little bit about scalar energy, just for those of us who this is really new to, and maybe they have no idea how it works or why it works, or just like the basic, even just the very basic definition of what it is.
Scalar light is sunlight. It's the initial energy of the sun. It's not electricity, which is a derivative of sunlight. So I'm working with the primary force, the animating force of the universe, scalar energy, the energy of the sun and the stars. Why is that important? It's energy that dictates nature. Energy creates, energy governs. I am working with the governing principle of the universe.
Energy actually is. It is the great I am.
Yes, it is. That's it. It's fundamental. Yep. Exactly.
So when it comes to healing, how does that all work?
Well, if this energy is primal and it is a great I am, I believe so, it's divine energy. And then this divine energy allows us to, if you will, impart instructions or intelligence. Energy carries instructions. This instrument carries broadcast instructions. Now, to be clear, this is not a biological function, it's intellectual. My process is intelligence or information. And when I'm working with this instrument behind me, a scalar light instrument, I don't work with people. I work with their information field, the force field that's found on a photograph. This is my photograph. It has energy, my energy on that photograph. So the way I can connect to a person is not biologically, I connect through their force field. And the force field is dictated by the energy left on the photograph. That's the new science.
That's really
Now, let me give an analogy.
fascinating.
We're having a discussion by computer.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's great. Jill is not in my computer. I'm not in your computer. We're sharing an image through this telephonic connection. Well, likewise, my image is my signature. I don't work with a person. I work with their energy signature on a photograph. So a scalar energy instrument can, if you will, identify a person by their photograph. But the energy goes into the force field on the photograph. I never work in person. The instrument's not designed to work with people.
I'm going to ask you this question. It may be like too simple, or it may not be what you're talking about at all, but it reminds me of like an X-ray where
Yeah.
it sends energy through your body and it delivers an image on the other side. The sun
Yes.
does that with us, and that's how we get photographs.
Precisely. And let's use your analogy of an X-ray. Obviously, that's not you. It's an image of your tendon or a bone. That's an X-ray or an MRI. So to be clear, we don't work with flesh and blood. We work with the aura or the force field or the information field. Now, why do I prefer to work with an aura or a force field? It's intelligence. I don't have to, if you will, factor in a chemical reaction, metabolic reaction. I don't have to factor in emotion or diet. I don't have to factor in age or their gender, et cetera, et cetera. The only factor is the energy field on a photograph. Why? This is fundamental. We're not working at the biological level. We're working at the spiritual level, the level of intelligence. And it's so much easier to work at the level of intelligence than it is at the physical level.
Yes. This makes sense to me, but it's like looking out the corner of my eye where I'm just trying to catching a glimpse of it.
Yes. Yeah. And there's no harm in that, Jill. This is a new and emerging branch of physics. This is what some people call quantum physics or metaphysics. We're no longer working at a mechanistic standpoint. There is no physical entity here. We're working at intelligence or the level of consciousness. There's a big difference. So we've left behind the physical world. We're working with the non-physical intelligence. Again, I prefer to work with non-physical intelligence. It's so much easier than working with a chemical reaction.
Yes. But one drives the other. Like the intelligence
yes,
drives the chemical reactions.
Yes. Yes, exactly. So I'll explain what I'm doing.
Okay.
The instrument behind me is on. I can feel the energy. How much energy? So much energy. If I hold a light bulb in my hand, it will illuminate the light bulb.
Wow.
Okay? The energy is so strong, it passes through from the sun, through the solar system. Nothing can impede it. If I have a wooden board, and I place a wooden board here, that wooden board cannot stop the illumination of a light bulb. Okay? So the energy is everywhere, and nothing can impede it. It's the life force energy. Why? It's non-physical. It's non-physical energy.
Is the energy that's being generated, well, let me ask you this. Is that being generated by your machine, or is it being generated, is it just a catalyst or something that it's pulling other energy through?
It's being generated by the instrument.
Okay.
I'll show the audience. This is the scalar energy instrument. It operates at a different level, a different dimension. It's not electricity. It's not electromagnetic. Okay. So when
it doesn't operate with magnetics.
That's correct. It does not.
Okay.
It does not.
Is this the kind of the kind of electricity that Tesla was working with?
Yes, exactly. He called it radiant energy.
Okay.
Later in his life, very good. Tesla discovered scalar energy. He was no longer interested in AC electricity, and I can see why. It's much easier. It has a much more profound influence. So we're leaving behind the electromagnetic grid. We're leaving behind the technology of today. We're going into the future in which the grid system is the universe. The power plant are the sun and the stars. It's going to make things so much easier, so much free energy for the world.
Is that what Tesla used when he created that vehicle that ran
Yes.
on what I always thought was just the ether, but
Yes.
it was actually scalar energy.
That's correct. Tesla was demonstrating a car in Buffalo, New York. It was silent in operation because there was no motor. There's no combustion.
Mm-hmm.
There was no induction motor. He was simply capturing energy from the sun and the stars, and he was using that to power his car. So imagine if we had cars today that you did not have to rely upon any power source. The power source is the cosmos. As I say, we should have listened to Nikola Tesla. Yeah. Okay. So,
but it's really hard to monetize that kind of thing.
You're right.
And I think that's why Tesla didn't make it.
You're right, because there's an impediment. You know, how do you monetize sun or star energy? It's free. Well, this is where we're going. This will solve our problem, so new industries will evolve. But gone, passe, are going to be oil wells and coal. Gone will be wind farms. Gone will be nuclear reactors. All of those sources of energy.
And electric vehicles.
Yeah.
Very silly, in my opinion.
Eventually, all of that will be obsolete. You're right. Okay. So how do I work with this energy with people and animals? Again, through photographs. Now, I'm going to demonstrate. I'm going to show a photograph. That is a scalar wave. And when I place a person's photograph inside the instrument, they enjoy that scalar wave that will correct their conscience or correct their chakras or rebalance their brain waves. Scalar energy is a double helix. That's what is photographed here. When I place my photograph inside the information field, the force field, I'm enjoying that download of light, that energy. What does that mean? Well, my chakras will be balanced. My brain waves will be balanced. Many people say that they're no longer depressed after our sessions. Some people say that this helps them with alcohol addiction or drug addiction because we're working through the photographic force field, the energy field. Everybody has an aura. Everybody has a spirit. That's what I capture on a photograph, a person's aura, their spirit. And I can correct the aura or the spirit. And in so doing, people said that they feel better. My work, to be clear, has never been duplicated. My instruments are unique. I want some people to try and duplicate my work. I'm having great results, but thus far, nobody's duplicated my results.
Do you reproduce your equipment for other people? Can they buy your equipment from you, or do they have to figure it out for themselves?
The laboratory is too extensive. I can't recreate the lab. It's a gigantic laboratory. You've only seen just a glimpse of it. So what do I propose? I have to introduce this to people through a grassroots movement. That's the key. And in so doing, once people see the merit, and then we start a word of mouth campaign, then I can get the ball rolling. To illustrate, I'm the only researcher right now. Nobody else is helping me. I work alone, not by choice. It's a poorly understood topic. And what are my avenues of success? People, testimonies, people. Okay, if I'm the only one in the world with this type of technology, how do I get it out there? By introducing it to people, millions of people, hopefully.
It's so fascinating. And what kinds of things are you helping people with? I mean, we've talked about how you do it, but why would somebody come to you, and
when I
what
work
could
with
they
this,
expect?
Working with this instrument, what I like is there's no human reasoning. I'll show you what I mean. I'm holding up a photograph of Candida albicans. That's a fungus. I'm able to take that photograph and place it in the instrument next to my photograph or anybody's photograph. And in so doing, whether I had Candida albicans as a signature or anybody in that photographic collage had Candida albicans, the instrument would pick out the energy of Candida albicans identified in a person and then negate the energy negate the signal of Candida albicans in the person. So we're not sending
turn
energy.
them off.
Yes. So what is life? Life is some type of signature, some type of recognition of that fungus. To negate that fungus is essentially, I believe, death or negation of at least the signature of the fungus. And how do we achieve that? You can only achieve that with a scalar energy instrument. You cannot achieve that with an electrical or a magnetic instrument. So working with this instrument, I can identify a microbe and negate the signal or negate its life force energy. To me, that's fascinating. My predecessor, Hieronymus, achieved that likewise.
It sounds like two things. One are why intentions can work long distance. And the other thing that it strikes me of is we know that particles behave differently when you're looking at them versus when you're not looking at them.
Yes.
And I think this is all tangled up together.
Yes, it is. It's quantum entanglement. You're absolutely right. When we observe something in nature, we realize now that our consciousness, our thoughts are having an effect upon that object.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because our thinking are scalar waves. A thought is a scalar wave. And whether it's an instrument or our thoughts, you can project a thought onto something and influence it. This gives credence to positive thinking. You're absolutely right.
And manifesting.
Yes. Manifesting or prayer or affirmations. Yes. There is a science behind prayer affirmation. Mm-hmm. It's scalar science.
It's so fascinating. And we can, using this, I have another question for you. I heard, and I don't know if this is true or not, somebody talking about, they were talking about pharmaceutical drugs in this explanation. And what they said was that if a pharmaceutical drug is changed, the composition is changed in the laboratory, that it actually affects all of the other pieces that are out in the market. Have you ever heard of that, or do you have any thoughts on that?
I'm not. That's not my specialty. But if we were trying to theorize, that has to be quantum entanglement.
Yeah.
That particular molecular formula is connected to every other rendition, to every other copy. Mm-hmm. And this has been proven. Two objects can be separated and they still communicate at a vast distance. They're still communicating somehow. That's a scalar communication. So presumably you can do that with a drug now.
Yeah. The potential for this, I'm
You're right. It's unlimited.
I'm not a scientist on that level.
Yes.
But the potential is just like exponentially greater for everything, really, than what we're conditioned to accept as we go along in life. It feels to me like it's shifting into this bigger, more exciting dynamic with scalar technology. And
you're absolutely right. This is a new dimension that we're working in, a new branch of science. And it's so promising because what was difficult to address in the past or unsolvable will now be easy to address, easy to solve. I've been working with people around the world. I'll give the audience an indication. I've been working with a clinic in India. This is the Om Prakash HIV/AIDS clinic in Delhi, India. I've worked with over 5,000 people who at one time were HIV positive. After working with these people, if they had a follow-up PCR test, nobody has a positive viral load. Nobody has any indication of HIV. So what did I do? With their photograph, I identified the HIV virus. I can take the HIV virus, match it up to the people, and find the HIV signature, or the force field of HIV in the person. After working with these people, of their accord, of their opinion, they feel better. Their testimony is rather promising. And some of those people have had a follow-up PCR test, and they say that they feel better, that they no longer have a viral load for HIV. Now, I've never been to Delhi, India, but according to these 5,000 people, and I have their testimonies on my website, they feel much better. Here's one of the PCR tests from somebody I worked with at the Om Prakash Clinic. Again, I've never met these people.
Mm-hmm.
This individual doesn't have a viral load. They had a viral load ever since they were infected with the HIV virus. After our sessions, they no longer have a viral load. So it's quite promising. Can this be explained by Newtonian science? No, it's a new science. Quantum science needs definition. It needs a new vocabulary. It needs a new definition. It's certainly.
I think you could. I'm sorry. I think you're going to run into the same problem that Tesla ran into, and that there are forces out there that don't want you doing this.
Oh, sure.
And if you can basically cure AIDS, which is, if the virus is no longer there and the virus was the problem, then it was cured. Can it come back? Perhaps, I don't know. But and I'm not, just as a public disclaimer, I'm not saying that Tom Paladino's scalar energy technology will cure you of anything. I don't know that, and I don't think that he can make that claim either.
No.
But the research is very promising.
Yes.
We'll phrase it that way.
Correct.
And he's really interested in people joining his experiment with him in terms of, you offer a 15-day free trial. How does that work?
Very simple. People go to our website, upload, email us your photograph. And you can send your family if they permit, include your pets. And again, all I need is a bus shot, your facial photograph. For 15 days, I'll treat you. I'll identify and eradicate microbes, viruses, bacteria, fungi. We're going to balance your chakras, your brain waves. This instrument does that automatically. And then the third technique that we've developed, we're able to take vitamins or minerals. This is beta carotene. There's a nutrient program. We can, if you will, impart the intelligence of beta carotene. How do I do that? When I take a photograph, which carries an energy signature, and I place it next to my photograph, beta carotene is imparted, is downloaded into my photograph. We impart the energy of beta carotene into a person. So it's not a nutritional program per se, in the form of a liquid or a drink or a meal or a supplement. It's a nutrient program by way of energy, all administered through energy, through the force field of scalar energy.
It's just med beds. Med beds are so passe, and they haven't even made it to the real world yet.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of that. I've heard about med beds, but I haven't seen one yet, so I don't know what to tell you.
I don't think they exist except on Stargate, the movie.
Okay.
But there has been a lot of buzz around some circles about them healing people, but what you're saying is that you don't actually have to have the physical body there. It's
Correct.
just the imprint, and
Correct.
and it works. It works.
It works.
We'll stop there.
Yes, it works. Yes. Yeah. And, let's say 100 years ago, if we would tell people that we could have a communication through a computer, we could speak through a computer, they'd say, no, that's impossible. Well, it's a matter of fact, but we can have somebody's voice could be modulated in a cell phone. Okay. Well, why can't your energy signal on a photograph, which is light, according to the laws of science, your light signature on a photograph is you. And we can influence your light signature on a photograph. Yes, we can.
The
This is-
Indians knew that. That's why they didn't want their pictures taken.
And they understood that innately. They had that wisdom, that knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Any photograph, whether it's in your possession or on Facebook or on Twitter or in a newspaper, is your essence. You leave your character on that photograph. My predecessor was able to ascertain a person's heart rate, blood pressure, organ function from their photograph. So the photograph is your energetic copy. It's your bilocated version.
Interesting. So my mind's going to like the teleporting.
Yes. That's what thank you. That's what this is. Okay. If you were to send me your photograph, you would teleport to this instrument, to my laboratory, because teleportation is non-physical information. How do you teleport? Not physically, you teleport through information. It's a non-physical process.
Yeah, like we're teleporting right now because we're having this conversation together in space because it's not,
Yes.
I'm not there and you're not here,
Yes.
but we exist together in another realm, which is, that's kind of mind-blowing when you think about it.
Yes, it is. You're absolutely right. Yes, it is.
Very interesting. So how do you work with people? What do you, I don't even know how to ask this question. How would people reach out to you, and why would they reach out to you, and what are you looking for with people?
Step one, Jill, is introduction, education. I give away 15 days on my website, 15 days of free sessions. Why do I do that? This is brand new. I'm the only one in the world with this instrument. I'm the only one in the world, hence, with this technology, with this approach. So anybody in the world can go to our website. We want them to sign up for free. Send us your entire families, include your pets, and then you be the judge of scalar healing. You tell us how this has helped you, soul, mind, and body. It's up to people to carry this forward. You made a good point. There are powers out there that don't want this to happen. They don't want to see this technology advance. The only way I can advance this is through people, as a grassroots movement. That's what I propose, a grassroots movement.
So I know there's other kinds of technologies out there, like sound energy and they're patches, and they do light wave energy off of your body.
Mhm.
But this is different. Those kinds of modalities generally are they're MLMs, but sometimes they're not. They can be actual pieces of equipment. How are you envisioning this growing if you're the only person that has this technology?
It has to grow in a controlled atmosphere, and hopefully I'm providing it. And then with the fact that we can miniaturize a photograph, I could easily work with 2-3 billion photographs a day. So the obstacle, the bottleneck, is not me. This instrument can work with 5 billion photographs a day. The bottleneck right now is awareness. We have to get the message out there. I want people to be aware of this. So I'll treat everybody in the world, if I have to, for free. But we have to get the ball rolling by way of grassroots movement.
So just getting people to send in their photographs, and do they need to tell you what's wrong with them or what they're feeling, or it's just send me your picture and let me help you feel better? And
That's
if you
correct.
have people that actually are under medical supervision at the moment for, things that are going on with them, if they went, and then does it matter when the photo was taken?
It does not matter when the photo is taken, because your force field is with you throughout life. It's like your fingerprint. Your fingerprint is with you throughout life. So your photograph is always in real time.
Even though the image might not look like you anymore.
That's correct.
Okay. So if somebody were to be being seen by the medical community for some dis-ease in their body, and sent you their photograph, would it be helpful to you if they also went back later and had tests done again?
Yes.
And then you could get that information from them
We-
about,
we- Yes, before and
then
after.
it's giving, yeah, then you're getting real data that you can,
Yes, even though it's anecdotal, before and after would be great. I have many people who've told me, you look, I had the herpes virus, and after your sessions, here's my test result, and I don't have herpes. That's what I need, before and after results. You're right. And it's just a matter of time before this will spread by word of mouth.
yeah. I'll be sending you my photo.
Okay, please do so.
And does it work for like blood pressure? And
Some
I
people,
believe people have high blood pressure because their body needs to be regulated, and it needs to be that high in order for them to be healthy-ish. That's just my opinion.
it has helped some people with high blood pressure. To answer your question, yes.
Okay. So pretty much anything that ails you, send in your picture and let Tom.
Let God heal. I claim that this is a divine energy, because who can control the energy of the sun and the stars? Who created the sun and the stars? It's God. So if this is controlling that energy, then it's God's energy. It's the light of God. It's not my energy. So send your photograph in and try it. So that's simple.
What do you got to lose? Nothing.
It's so simple.
Yeah, and you have so much to gain just
Simple.
from sending the photo in. So can they can send their photos in on your website, right?
That's correct. Yeah,
Okay.
that's scalarlight.com, SCALAR, scalarlight.com. Send us your photographs. We'll work with you for 15 days. You will feel something. The greater majority of people say they feel better. You might not be able to put your finger on it because this is unique. You've never experienced this before, but the greater majority of people feel an improvement, a significant improvement in their health.
That's so interesting. I personally experienced a healing with intention, in that I was part of a group of people that were holding intentions together, and I'd hit my thumb with a pneumatic nail gun. I
Yes.
hit the bone and it hurt so bad. It just happened that we were having this call that night. And it was all over the internet. We were all in different parts of the world. And after 20 minutes of them just focusing on healing my thumb was healed. I mean, it went from, it was throbbing, it hurt really bad, to it was perfectly fine.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's mind over matter. Yep, this is a reality. Yep, by all means.
Yeah, very interesting. So having people send in their photographs and help you actually gather data is like your biggest call for help.
Yes.
And is there anything else that you'd really like for them to know about this or working with you?
I'll put this into break it down so everybody can cogitate upon this. What is a thought? A thought is a scalar wave. What is an emotion? A scalar wave. So what am I getting at? How is it that we can think? It's a form of energy, scalar energy. What is an emotion? What are feelings? It has to be some type of intelligence. It's consciousness or scalar energy. So everybody with a mind and a heart, we all have a mind and a heart, is capable of scalar energy, of exercising this primal energy. So this is not, if you will, this is not esoteric. Everybody has a scalar energy mind, a scalar energy heart.
Yeah. And it you're either on or you're off.
Yeah.
And if you're breathing, you're on. just to let you know, in case there was any question about that.
Exactly. And I don't want this to be esoteric. Everybody has a mind and a heart. Everybody is a scalar energy being.
Mhm.
Well, that's sunlight or starlight. It dictates nature.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. I can tie this back to so many different things, but is there one thing that you hope the audience takes away from this conversation today?
It's always a message of hope, Joe. It's always a message of hope. The world needs to unite. When we unite, we can achieve so much. So let's be happy. Let's unite. Let's work together. There's great prospect out there for transition, for change, for improvement. It's a message of hope.
I agree. Thank you so much for joining me today, Tom.
Yes. Thank you so much.